You're tuned in to a Grown Folks production. In the mix with the commish, Nate.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to OMFL Media Days, day number 6. I'm going to go ahead and own it up front. Yesterday, I completely melted down my computer. It did not like what I did to it, and I don't even know what I did to it, but it doesn't matter. We will get those guys back on in OMFL Media Days. May even do one a little bit today. We may do a part 2 of Trey, since he's here with me this morning. So I got Trey with me, I got Lilcoch with me, I got Joker with me. Cannot wait for you to meet these guys. And our guy Shocks, though, has had to tap out just a little bit just because he is not feeling well this morning. But you did not come here to hear me yap. On your screen right now is your coach of the, I got to get used to saying it, Lilcoch here, Cleveland Browns, because him and my dude Denbrew, they just flip-flop back and forth. How you doing this morning, my friend? He's only day off, and he's given a little bit of it to us. My dude is super busy during the summer months. I'm looking forward to him having a break because I know he's been grinding at it. One of my favorite humans. He let me twist his arm to run the deuce and be a part of the board, and he's hard on himself. I don't like that, but he is a extremely excellent human being, and we're a better league for having him here. Madden 24, my assumption is you didn't get to touch it at all, but anything that you're hearing, or if you did get to play any at all that excites you about Madden 24? You played so much better last year. It's just something about having your own team, the team that you kind of root for. Is it any sort of letdown having to go off of them for a cycle? Okay. Yeah, I think sometimes that happens, but I also think people gain confidence, right? They get a little roll and then they're like their confidence build and they get going. What's the biggest thing that you want to see from the Browns in season 106? It's crazy to think, but Madden wise, you might have the much better quarterback because they were not nice to our guy because he's our guy down here in the South too, Burrow. They were not nice to his throwing power at all. What are your real expectations, Browns, right out of the box, season 106? All right, team, we got to send Lilcoch some uplifting messages. Koch, you lived in the playoffs last year, and you're like, I barely want to get there. No, man, you're going to be there. You lived there last year. You own the AFC. Yeah, yeah. Talk to me about your favorite. Hold on a second. People are saying that they're having. Oh no. We're gonna reverse it a little bit, little Koch. Ariel just told me that something happened and they couldn't actually hear you for some reason. So we'll start it over really quick. Thank you for
All right.
meeting me. Oh my God. I hate technology. I want to put my foot through everything right now. Oh, this driving me insane. But thank you for making time. I've been having a great conversation with Koch, guys. He can't see me right now, but I'm looking at y'all. I'm looking at him. This is going great already. He is moving over to the Cleveland Browns, taking over his team. We're just going to kick it over one more time. What are you most excited about in Madden 24? Jesus, Nate, get it together.
Honestly, like I said earlier, the competition with everybody in the league. I enjoy just the way this league runs and just battling it out with everybody. It's always a fun deal for me.
We were
It's
talking. Yeah, we were talking just about like how he lived in the playoffs last season, and but it's going to be a new division since he's moving over there. We're hoping, we don't know, but Nipples might be a little bit more engaged, a little bit less of the offensive weapons, but I do think he's going to have a little bit better of a quarterback. What's the biggest thing that you want to see from your team the first season out of the box?
for me, like I said, I want to make sure we can stop the run. Stopping the run's important in this league, and if we can get to them long third downs, I feel like we got a shot with the DBs and linebackers we got to stop everything.
What is it about that defense that you think is going to be really helpful, especially with your imports? Like, what's the strength of that defense?
Well, I'm importing 2 defensive tackles, and then I think my third one with the platinum is probably going to be a linebacker, and it's just gonna. They're both big, strong defensive tackles that I'm importing, and they're both rookies. It's going to take a little development time, but they're going to be hopefully super strong, not getting pushed back. They're both run stoppers. We're really hoping to shut down the inside run game.
Tell me the one guy. Who's the one player that when you log in, you're like, man, this guy is going to be fun to play with. I cannot wait to have him on my team.
I want to say it's probably going to be obviously, what's the name? Not a Clowney. I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. Oh, shit. Let me see if I can find him on here. Hold on 1 second.
What position?
Defensive end. He's the Garrett. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Hey,
Garrett's
don't worry. It
be,
happens to me all the
obviously be
time.
a stud. And he's just gonna wreak havoc. I know my pass rush is gonna always be in the game basically. So yeah, we're hoping to. Defensive line is really important for me this year. Is what I'm pushing for, because I know last Madden the Browns defensive line was not great. Besides Garrett. So
are you worried about the cap issues at all over there in Cleveland?
I am. I'm actually probably going to use my platinum and cut Deshaun Watson after the first season.
So what's the plan? We're going to draft a quarterback?
I'm going to draft a QB and go from there.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but that is a tough contract.
Trade for a QB possibly.
Well, you let one move out of the box, but you did say you're going to hold on to that one until the end of season 1. What's your number one priority move? Like, what's the first thing you're like, as soon as you log in, I got to do this?
I don't. Honestly, that was kind of looking for a replacement quarterback, most likely.
Yeah.
Because there's some quarterbacks out there that are backups on some of these rosters that I'd be interested in picking up.
What's the strength of the Browns that like connects really well with your game, like the way that you like to play Madden? What's the thing that you think, man, this is really going to help me?
I think their offensive line is super strong and just a good unit overall. So it's probably going to push me to run the ball more than I normally do. But yeah, I think the offensive line is going to be a huge strength. A lot of the tight end, they got a solid tight end in Njoku. They got a good receiver. If I can add another receiver to that team, I think we'll be pretty set.
Trey, what you got from my guy, Koch?
What's up, Koch?
What's going on, Trey?
Not much. So you went from having the air raid that was the Cincinnati Bengals last Madden cycle to now going to more of the power run style with the Browns. Do you anticipate using Nick Chubb more than maybe Denbrew did last year?
Oh yeah, and I don't see myself trading Nick Chubb away. I'll probably hold on to him the whole cycle.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys still have Amari Cooper?
Yes.
Do you look to have him as your number one target the rest of the season, or for the cycle, or do you look to maybe find somebody to replace him?
I'll probably add a receiver if I can to be my number one receiver eventually.
And we all know Myles Garrett is a legitimate game changer. Do you feel like that defense is built and ready to go with him as the main key focus, or do you feel you still need to try and find some assets to build around him to make it an elite defense?
I think I'm like I said, I'm importing a couple young D tackles. I'm hoping they develop quickly to help stop the run. I know I think they added Dalvin Tomlinson, and then they added the other defensive end. So I'm hoping, I haven't seen the ratings on them honestly, but I'm hoping they're good enough that it'll help the D-line enough that we should be pretty strong there.
And ultimately, now with potential of Cincyburg being in the division, how do you compare the AFC North to the rest of the divisions?
I honestly, I've been so busy, I haven't really paid attention to where everybody's moved to. I know Cincy and Maniac were talking about switching. So I honestly think the AFC North is going to be one of the harder divisions to win.
Do you feel like it's potential for all the teams to be the wild card teams, or do you feel like it's only going to be one or two guys that make it from the division?
That's a tough call. It just really depends on how other teams play that year. You never know who's going to be hot that season. It depends on if Mackey's engaged. If Mackey engaged, we've seen him make the Super Bowl, so. You just never know. The three guys in my division have all made Super Bowls. It's going to be interesting for me.
It's a good point.
You have a hard road. What's one key aspect to your game that you're going to try and bring from how you ran with the Bengals last year to Cleveland?
I'm not sure. I would say I'm going through the draft and free agency. I'm going to try to add the offensive weapons similar to what I had last Madden. I felt like having that stud tight end, which I kind of already have one close to what he was, really helped my game.
All right.
So,
well, I look forward to our matchups.
Yep, me too.
You do have a tough division, but you can always just change teams with our next guest who'll come up here soon, Joker. He's trying to get away from the Cardinals. You know, you can go play D-Money, twice a season. One more question for you, Gotch, before I let you go, buddy. Thank you again for making time for us, especially on a day off. Our guy, Maniac, he likes to ask all of our guests, how do you plan on building your team? Young, draft picks, kind of really investing in a young talent? Or do you like to gather veterans from other teams, maybe throwaways, free agents? How do you like to build the Browns?
I personally like to. I hate to trade away a guy like a top pick if I can help it, just because I feel like you're trading away for a free agent, possibly like a guy that could have been a free agent, or you maybe will find a guy in free agency similar to that guy. So for me, it's really hard to trade away picks sometimes. I would rather trade away a veteran and get extra picks. And with that said, I personally like to grab a couple high free agents, like high value guys if I can, and then build around that and just fill in little spots on free agency the rest of the way through.
Well, Koch, I appreciate you, man. Thank you not only for coming here today, but for all that you've done in the Deuce, all that you do for the OMFL. You're one of those quiet guys that just puts his head down and goes to work and shows up here and volunteers and gives. And I deeply, deeply appreciate you. And thank you, man. I can't wait for a great 24 with you and seeing what you do with those Browns.
Well, I appreciate you having me. Honestly, it's a great league. I've been here, I think, 5 years now. And
it's crazy.
Been awesome. So I appreciate you running it the way you do.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. There you have it. You're coach of the Cleveland Browns. I got to keep hesitating right before I say it. It doesn't roll off the tongue just yet, but we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lilcoch. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Lilcoch, he is the absolute best. Let's bring on our next guest. This is a guy I can't wait for all of you to meet. I'm still getting to know him, and just a wild story. This guy is a tattoo artist, a car builder, a bike rider, our friend, new friend to the league, at least to us, not to the community, but to us, of the Arizona Cardinals, Mr. Joker. Joker, you can come on and join us. Yeah, there he is. Okay, I was like, hopefully nobody pulled him away. He's right over in Sturgis.
I'm good.
How you doing this morning, buddy?
Good. It's a little nippy up here, because I live in Hawaii, so I'm up here in South Dakota, and it's like 69 degrees this morning, so I'm freezing.
How long a flight is that? Like, how hard is it to get to South Dakota from Hawaii?
So usually what we do is, because we have some friends that live in Denver, so we fly straight from Honolulu to Denver and then drive up. So a straight flight into Denver's right at 7 hours.
It's just I even left out the Hawaii part. Like, this guy isn't already cool enough. He also lives in Hawaii, friends. Well, Joker, did you get to play with Madden at all? Madden, the 24 beta?
Yeah, I had the beta, and, obviously I'm a diehard Chiefs fan, so 90% of my beta playing was with the Chiefs, but they're towards the end whenever, and I do appreciate you guys invite me into the OMFL. I'm really excited about that. So, got the Cardinals. So that last part where they opened the beta back up, I played with the Cardinals a little bit, and just to see what I thought. So,
what'd you think? What excites you the most about it?
I like a lot of the way the linemen block, because to me, it's always been every Madden you thinking, okay, that lineman can see that defensive guy. Why is he not blocking? I think that they fixed that a little bit. Some of the zone defenses and the man defenses seem better to me, and they play more realistic as to where your guy can get open if he's running the perfect route and they're not in the right position. So I think it's going to be great. I love all the new animations, everything. So
what you're going to all learn, what I've learned already today, is that we're not a big Kyler Murray fan, and he's stuck over in Arizona right now. But what's the biggest thing that you hope to see if you do stick with the Cardinals? Heads up, everybody. If you would like the Cardinals, if they interest you, hit up Joker. He'd be interested in the swap. But if you stick with the Cardinals, what's the biggest thing you want to see from them?
So being my first, a lot of people in the OMFL, either I've known, I say a lot, at least half of them I've known for years. Like Roger, me and Roger's been playing Madden together for 12 or 13, 14 years. So, I mean, they all know I've always played with the Chiefs. So going into playing a league with not the Chiefs is going to be kind of difficult for me because I'm diehard. Me and Luca have already had the conversation about trading, and he's like, "Nope, no way ever." But as long as I don't embarrass myself with the Cardinals, I think I'll be okay. I mean, I guess I'm looking for as long as I can be consistent, I'll be okay, I think. So.
I'm getting to know you. You and I are brand new to each other, but what I know of Roger, I'd love to have dinner with you and Roger because I'm sure there's some hella good stories in that table right there.
Me and Roger are known to throw the F-bomb around a lot. We used to, we usually have our mics on whenever me and him play each other. So, there's a lot of stories, and, me and him actually had, years and years and years ago, I think 2015, I had back surgery, and then he had the surgery that he's still having so many complications from. And like, I check on him, like if I don't hear from him, like once or twice a week, I'll text him and be like, "Hey dude, how you doing? You all right over there?" And he's always invited me to come out, because he lives on the East Coast and does all the big parties out on the island there. So he's always invited me out, and I live in Hawaii, so I always tell him, "Hey, you can come to Hawaii." So.
Yeah, Roger's my guy. I love that dude, and I feel the same way. If I don't hear from him, I'm like, "Hey, just let me know you're good over there," because sometimes he, that health, it takes a twist on him. You were saying, as long as I don't embarrass myself, tell me, what are some real expectations? What do you think are good expectations?
So realistically, it's not even. I guess if I could go 8 and 9, I would consider that respectable. I mean, as you know, I was in the Super Bowl in the Deuce last year with the Chiefs. If I was playing with the Chiefs, I would automatically say I'll be in the playoffs without question. With the Cardinals, as long as I can make it respectable, 8 wins. So maybe 9 but I hear my division's tough, is what I keep hearing.
Yeah, it's not a super easy division, that's for sure.
Exactly.
What's the one player though? It's D-Money. He makes it not easy for anybody. But what's the one guy, the one player you're like, you know what? I may not like Kyler Murray, but this kid I like, and I can't wait to play with.
I like Hollywood Brown. I liked him even when he was with the Ravens. So I'm excited to at least have him on the team. That way I do know that I have a true number one. But I really think, because I'm an offensive guy with the Chiefs, but I'm really more of a defensive style play. So I'm glad that I got Budda Baker. So, I'm pretty excited about the Budda Baker situation.
What's your number one priority? As soon as you log into the CFM, you get it rolling, what's the first thing you're going to do to that team?
Well, first and foremost, everybody knows that Kyler is on the trading block. And I'm really not a big trader, but he is on the trading block. But if I have to keep him, my first priority is I need a running back. The Arizona Cardinals backs, they're good, but they're super slow. And, even playing on the beta, they were, they just can't break tackles. It don't seem, and pretty slow.
I may have to send you a message or two. Maybe there's a running back Kyler Murray swap, because I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan in real life either, but I could use a longer-term quarterback. Trey, what do you got for our guy Joker?
What's up, Joker?
Hey, Trey, what's up, brother?
Not much. So Arizona has a very key piece to that defense, and one Isaiah Simmons. Do you intend to move him around, or do you tend to keep him, or want to keep him in one position?
I'm probably going to move him around a little bit, but like I said, I'm more of a I generally control either the middle linebacker or the interior defensive line. So usually I'll let, like, I would never control Baker because I wouldn't want to put myself of getting him out of position where he already knows where he's supposed to be. So that would probably be the same thing with Simmons. I probably wouldn't ever even use him because I wouldn't want to mess up the AI on that part of it.
Now, obviously, coming off of last year, the Cardinals lose J.J. Watt to retirement. Do you plan to address edge rushing rather early on, or is it going to be one of those trying to develop what you have?
So, yeah, I'm going into it not knowing very much about the Cardinals or how I'm going to play with them. I'm pretty much this season, obviously, if I get the right deal for Murray, I'll move him. But other than that, I'm going to play with what I got, see how it goes, being the new guy on the totem pole. I don't have any carryover, so I don't have anybody fresh coming over from last year's season. So I'm more of a build through the draft. So I'll play with what I got and hopefully have some not too low draft picks to too bad of a season, but have that mid 10, 12, 15 pick and be able to get some young talent in there.
Now, you're in the division with what would normally I would say is, if we're getting in college aspects, the preseason number one.
Yeah.
How do you feel essentially going up against the Alabama of the OMFL twice a season?
Right. That's what I hear. I hear I'm in the division with the guy that runs the table. So I always say anybody can be beat at any time, and you got to be able to go into that game with the mindset of don't change your game. Just keep doing what you're doing, pound the rock, pass the ball, whatever you're doing. Don't change up your game plan. Something will eventually break. Somebody will make a mistake.
Now, you have expectations for 8-9 win season. That tends to be in the NFC just outside of the playoff picture. Do you think you'd want to try and push to maybe get
no, if I could get I would be ecstatic if I could get a wild card. That would be great. Like I said, I've played some of the guys that are in the league, so I know that what experience level I'm coming into with them guys, and I've heard stories about some of the other guys. So as long as I can play with the Cardinals, I think I have a real good possibility of squeezing in a wild card round there.
Cool. I look forward to potentially meeting up with you a couple times this season.
Yes, sir.
Now, D-Money is great, Joker, but from the stories I've heard from Pootie T and from Raj, I'm skipping the name right now, but you guys have a guy in the NBC that used to just run through and win every championship like 10 years in a row.
Yeah, like Bird and them. Yeah.
No, there's another guy. If you said his name, I would remember, but there's the guy in the NBC.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, and if I guess we wouldn't have been saying it, but yes, he was one of the guys that every single year it was just like it didn't matter what team he played with. If everybody on the team got hurt, he still was in the Super Bowl. So,
well, I'm hoping that you give D-Money a run for his money. No pun intended there. Joker, I got to be honest, I'm instantly a big fan of yours. Thank you for making time for us, man. I love your energy, and we're a better league today than we were before you joined us. So I'm excited about having you with us, man.
Well, we're excited to be part of the team now, and like I said, Roger's mentioned to me a couple of times, oh man, you ought to get an OMFL, and sometimes I just don't have time. And at the beginning, when Madden drops, it's Sturgis time, so I'm here every year, so I always miss out a few weeks leading up to and stuff. So if you don't see me on the boards or doing stuff like that, I truly am busy until I get back. So
no, I can believe it. Well, be safe out there. It sounds like a stupid thing to tell a big burly man like you, but be safe. I'm sure things get wild, and have a good time, and we'll see you when you get back, my friend.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
There you have it. You're owner of the Arizona Cardinals. We're gonna have to find him a new team because he's not loving that team over there. But I'm excited about it. Trey, come on back, man. Let's bring on Trey. You're owner of the Detroit Lions. You did unmute, but you did not turn that video on, so we're gonna have to get that video. Oh, you want the cam
too, huh?
Yeah. Come on back. Good to see you, Trey. I messed up Trey's stuff yesterday. What's up, Kev? RL, thank you again for telling me that we were muted earlier. Trey, I'm sorry for messing things up yesterday. So far, we've had a few small hiccups, but overall, things have been pretty smooth today. I think it is just it's a longevity thing with my computer. It's heat. That is what causes the issues, and it is a very expensive laptop, but it's a laptop, and so having all of these videos and audio sources coming in, it's good for like the first little bit, and then it's like the longer you go and everyone stays, it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. Not that anybody cares. I'm just explaining to y'all. It's not me over here. I'm doing the best I got with the equipment I got. But started sitting down yesterday, Trey, just pricing out another computer. I'm just trying to get it. But I made some small tweaks here, and let's talk to Trey this morning. Trey, what'd you think about Madden 24, my buddy?
From the little bit of the beta that I got to play, it's looking like it's going to be a fun game to play, and I'm loving the fact that offensive line looks like it can actually block for once.
Massive. I love that pullover that you have, that Detroit pullover. Massive Lions fan. When you think about Madden 24, kind of what it does well. Yeah, that one's a great pullover. Madden 24, what it does well, your game style, what it kind of excites you, like, man, this is really going to be good for me.
I think having that improved blocking compared with the quarterback style that I have at my disposal right away, it's going to open up a lot more for me to mix and match some plays up.
What's the number one thing you want to see from your team in the first season?
Oh, number one thing I want to see from my team, definitely it's got to be the blocking. I think I would say they're top 10 at least, if not top 5 offensive line in the league. I need them to play like that.
Are you a Campbell fan in real life?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He brings a lot of energy. I mean, he was here, right? He was here in New Orleans for a very long time. He's our tight end coach, and every season he'd like flirt to leave, and somehow we'd talk him into staying, and it's good to see him finally having some success. That dude is going to die of a heart attack, though. Like, can we all just say it? I hope it happens in his 90s, but he drinks way too much coffee, way too much dip, way too intense. That guy's heart's going to explode one day.
The dude played in Detroit, so he gets it. So.
Yeah. No, he totally gets it. What's real expectations for your season right out of the box?
If it was just going based on lines in general, it'd be contending for a wild card spot, but it's me. I've got a kind of a reputation of winning the division. I actually need to do that.
Yeah, we who was I talking to yesterday? Oh, I was talking to Kevin on PUBG last night, and we were just talking about the division, and he was saying how Big Hurt was trying to flip-flop with Maniac, and though I love the rivalry with Big Hurt, I do hope Big Hurt stays, because I feel like there's a little bit of a budding rivalry. Priest and you have been together for quite some time, but I love Priest. It's just not consistent enough to be a real rivalry. We see moments of it, and I love when he beats you. I know that twists the knife, and it just gives him a little bit more. But like consistently, you've owned that division. So I want to see somebody just contend with you. Just make it interesting over there, because sometimes that division isn't always the most interesting. Who's the one guy, the one player that you're like, man, when I get my hands on this guy, he's going to be a ton of fun? You have a lot of weapons, a lot of fun players. Who's the one guy you can't wait to play with?
I can't remember the import's name that I'm bringing over, but he was I didn't attend the final draft because I had other things to do. The computer drafted me a defensive end, and I'm like, okay, I have no intentions of going. And I looked at his stats and stuff, and I'm going, okay, he's kind of good. And then our man Roger let me in on some information that if I didn't take him, I was doing myself a disservice. So I'm looking forward to having him pair up with Hutchinson and James Houston, and Julian Okwara to make what I can of an insane pass rush. But in terms of real life players, it's definitely Jamar Gibbs. I've never really had a speed back, so I'm going to see if I can mix and match that. And I also know from what I've seen from highlight tapes, he's a really good receiving back. So it's going to be essentially like having Reggie Bush back there again for me. And I had fun during that Madden cycle when he was a Detroit Lion. So we'll see what happens.
He's a very like Alvin Kamara-ish type running back. He should be fun in real life, but he should also be really fun for Madden. Let's talk about one last one. What is the number one priority? You log in, you go to the Detroit Lions team. Is it a trade? Is it a depth chart? Is it a release? Is it a signing you're hoping to make? What's the number one priority for you?
Oh, if we're going off things, it depends on where I fall, and if we do the FA draft, where I fall in that aspect. If I get a high enough pick, I'd like to get a certain player that's available, but I'll keep that to myself on who I want. But if I don't get high enough to go grab that guy, the first thing on my priority list is trading Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I love the guy. I love the signing, but he's a one-year deal. He's 10.3 mil, I believe. I feel like I can move him and drop, I think it's 7 overall points to put Brian Branch in there as a rookie and start him. I feel like it'd be better off to try and develop a rookie right off the get-go for the long run of the Madden cycle than playing contract with Chauncey.
Let's talk about our Maniac question. I'm calling it. It's a question that Maniac submitted for all of our guys. Are you planning on building this team young, draft picks, like really young investments, or do you mind grabbing older veterans that other players are letting go or trying to get rid of, or expiring contracts, or maybe free agency? Or is it a mix of the two? How are you going to build the Lions?
My priority is through the draft. It's essentially what the Lions are doing in real life. They're finding the young pieces. I mean, we traded TJ Hawkinson away for whatever reason, and we went and go get Sam Laporta. So obviously we had something in mind in doing that. It feels like there were draft first philosophy, but my philosophy is if there's a piece that I feel that can fit my system, I'm not scared to go get it. I went and got Khalil Mack last year, paired him with Aiden Hutchinson, and I was causing havoc throughout majority of that Madden cycle with the two-headed monster that I created. If push comes to shove, I'm not really willing to overspend on free agency. I feel it's more draft and trades that I'll build through, but my priority is definitely first through the draft.
You have been a mainstay, and I don't expect that to change at all. I'm interested more in what the other teams can do, and I think you have done this without having the base that you have this Madden. You've been the mainstay with lesser bases, and now you have a better base to build off of. It's going to be exciting, and the NFC hasn't changed a ton moving into Madden 24, but will be interesting to just see who are the top dogs. And I fully expect the Lions are going to be a top dog and pushing for another OMFL berth and OMFL championship to add. Now, yesterday we got to show it off. It didn't get to show up yet. Go ahead and show it off. That's what we're working for right there. Those things are harder and harder and harder to find. But congratulations on a successful Madden 23, and I can't wait to see what happens in Madden 24. And you're kind of become you have become the new podcast buddy. So I appreciate you hanging out with me on Press Pass Live. So,
I've become the co-host for Press Pass Live these days.
You have become the co-host. Well, friends, I'm going to wrap it up right there. Thank you to everybody. Joker, thank you to Lilcoch. Thank you to Trey making time, coming and joining me. Thank you for my guy Ariel telling me, Nate, you're on mute. I wasn't on mute, but I had muted them because I didn't want y'all hearing them talking before we got going. I got to figure this out. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I forgot to hit the unmute, but Lilcoch was a good sport in it all. I'm taking the father-in-law. Me and the wife and our father-in-law are going to the World War II Museum today. So before she walks in here and hits me with a pan, I told her 30 minutes. We've been at 40 minutes. I better get out of here. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Smash that like and subscribe.